one thing that we can start with before we get into our soup du jour of this show, I didn't say the meat and potatoes, the soup du jour, because we're refined and matured here, is New York Giants and their new throwback uniforms. There's plenty of teams with new uniforms this year. The Denver Broncos unveiled new uniforms. The Texans unveiled some really sweet new alternate unis. But the Giants, they're turning 100 this year. And the G-men decided to roll out what they call the turn of the century uniform that hark back to their, I guess, first few years back in sepia and black and white. And this is what came out of it. Woof. I mean, that it's not, you know what? It is a bad joke. I'll give it. They are some of the, I don't like to be just, I haven't seen them in person, but it's one of the ugliest uniform sets I have ever seen. Like they look, I told Scott right before the show, Zoo, that these look like on Madden when you relocate a team and you go to London and they give you like 3 options for you.
Oh, yeah.
Like the Monarch. They look like the London Monarchs. So, Zoo, you're our uniform expert. How do these rank with other throwback unis of the NFL?
I mean, I kind of wish they were playing the Steelers with their bumblebee-looking bullshit that they used to have.
The Packers ones.
Those were gnarly.
Ooh, they're so bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, there's parts of it that could work. Like, it's interesting that they went with like khaki pants, right? So it's like the fact that it actually looks like, you know, shirt and pants that like somebody would just wear every day is like kind of interesting. But then the socks just throw me off. Like on top of that,
it gives me Montreal Canadian vibes.
Yeah. The helmet is something. It's something.
Well, I guess it's because it goes back to the, you know, with the pants, it goes back to the day, like, you know, 100 years ago when their players were wearing their khakis and coming straight from work.
From the coal mines. It's so upsetting because, like you said, there's a whole slew of teams released a whole bunch of new jerseys. I mean, the Jets finally pulled the trigger on their kind of rebrand that they've been working on. I mean, hell, even the Browns, even it was a minor kind of thing that they did, you know, I can appreciate it. That the Lions hit it out the park. The Houston Texans, I think, did the best out of everybody as far as their new uniforms go. And even the Broncos, I mean, I can appreciate the new Broncos look. The Broncos are one of those teams, though, where I feel like they need to bring back their throwbacks 100%. That just needs to be their jersey. No, it's just their classic jerseys.
No, they have a throwback one.
Yeah, it's that bright orange and the blue stripe with the galloping Bronco on the side. Yeah, the new ones are, I mean, there's nice little elements, like little Easter eggs in the jersey, but but this is just, I don't know who is in their marketing department or their apparel department making these decisions and who they're asking if it's a good idea, because they are on
Twitter. There was a whole write-up. Actually, it was on the link that Reid sent us today. It was like, it was this part from this time frame and this part from that time frame, and we collaborated with Nike for this whole process and blah blah blah. I'm just like, no, that's kind of in the past, and you grew out of it for a reason.
And that's the thing. You pulled that picture back up, and none of it. It's not even like cohesive or match. It doesn't even look good together. It just looks just mismatched and just thrown together. That's all it is.
And Zoo,
just like their team.
Zoo brought up great sympathy for the first round pick, Malik Neighbors. Just the thought process, it just made me giggle all day of just thinking about Malik Neighbors is going to be like, he's just going to beat like Trayvon Diggs on like a real deep route, and just the misery of this rookie season. He'll be wide open going down the sideline and then gets overthrown for like 30 yards by Daniel Jones or Tommy Pasta or whoever the backup quarterback's going to be, and then just looks down at the uniform. It's just
damn it.
God.
It's like, poor guy finally got through like his rookie camp weekend. He was like, okay, I'm a Giant. Let's just, work through this. Let's accept my fate and see this. And he's like, God, why?
But like, this is just another talking point to the conversation I think we all have pretty consistently, is like, why why are major league teams, whether it's baseball, with the when they rebranded the Indians to the Guardians, or you see a lot of these rebrandings in the NBA and the NFL, like how come like these professional league teams can't get it right, but you have like these minor league hockey teams and minor league baseball teams who are just hitting it out of the park with their branding? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like Norfolk Admirals had like the City Series where there was 7 games throughout the season where they had a jersey specifically for one of the other cities. So there was the Virginia Beach Admirals, the Portsmouth Admirals, and they had a logo specifically
that's
for
sick.
each one that looked cool. This year they had their 757 series, so they had the yellow ones that actually had like a 757 crest on the middle. It's like the stuff that they come up with, and then even like Premier League, like you have your traditional colors, but then you get to play with the away one, and then it's a third kit that just has nothing to do with anything. Like Man City had like their Japanese Korean theme one that was just like black, and then it had like pink lightning on it. It looked sick. It was just like, sure, this is just what we're gonna do this year.
Do you think it's like pro teams wanting to be safe, or the league maybe trying to be safe, and they just they tell Nike or whoever it's usually Nike, whatever company that the league is partnered with, like, hey, we're not trying to go too flashy. We don't want anything that's going to embarrass us or look like an XFL or something.
This is a solution?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and like they get rid of
these styles were in the 30s for a reason.
Right, but you do see instances where teams actually hit it right in the head, like the Nationals cherry blossom jerseys. Those are sick. Like those are clean. It harps back to the area. But and then you have the Giants doing this, where they're just like rummaging through some closet somewhere and just slapping it together.
Even last year, I didn't think their damn third or second helmets matched their home kits at all. It's like 2 entirely different blues. I thought that was the worst of it.
But then as like when you do get something cool, like remember Washington when they were the Redskins, they had their throwback uniforms, and they did these like throwback to leather helmet style helmets.
Yeah.
And they got
RG3 ones.
Yeah, they got to wear them once, and then they were told they could never wear them again. And I thought it was because of like a safety issue, and I think partially it was, but also they weren't leather helmets; they were just regular helmets designed to look like it.
Right.
Yeah.
And because they didn't match like a particular color or something, they couldn't do it. So I think when it comes to like the NFL has like such heavy restrictions on color matching that it's hard to do like a little extra few things. You have to get super creative. Like with Washington's black uniforms, and why we have to have like a little bit of black on the other couple of uniforms just so that we can wear the black.
Official color.
Yeah.
That's right, because now I remember, that the Redskins had done that, and then they rolled out those throwback jerseys again, but they wore the Redskins helmet and it just didn't look right.
Right. It never looked good after that. And then like it's something like Zeus brought up, like Scott brought it up, the cherry blossom uniforms for the
City Series
look awesome. Right. They have cherry blossom uniforms for the Wizards.
Caps do it too.
Caps do it, and DC United, the soccer team, has really great ones. I'm sure.
Caps only had it as a warm-up jersey. They've never played the cherry blossom one.
Yeah, it was that blue one, right?
And they have the blue W, which I think they're retiring now, and they're trying to bring the retro one back with the Screaming Eagle.
And I think the Mystics have cherry blossom uniforms too, and it's something that's super like DC integrated, but like the Commanders can't do that because of the NFL's restriction on these things, and they're loosening up, it seems, year by year. So maybe at some point in the next couple seasons they could get something like that going, or with a potential rebrand. But
a few of the pictures came out with the schedule release, just like pictures from the game last year. And man, I like those black uniforms so much, the Commanders ones.
I like them, but it's just like I feel taunted by them because I love the idea of them, but every time I watch them in it, they lose or they get their ass beaten some like heartbreaking fashion. And it makes me hate the uniforms. It makes me feel like the uniform is cursed. So I need a change. I need them to switch it up to really get me on board with these.
So anybody that's a Commanders fan needs to follow Gonzo Did This, GONZO, on Instagram and Twitter. He does he's doing like this rebranding series because he's trying to get the Commanders to like officially hire him to do like their rebrand if they ever decide to do one again. And he's been doing like concepts of uniforms and stuff. And the one that he has right now, it's the white jersey with the gold pants and the gold helmet, and he has like the new Commander's W on it. That would be a great like throwback alternate one that doesn't like hurt anybody's feelings, but still kind of like touches on old uniforms. It would look really cool.
All this to say the Giants' new uniforms suck. You should have done better.